Alright, guys, so today I'm here again, and today I want to share some of the shocks that I got when I got to the UK here. Some things actually surprised me, took me aback when I got here because I was basically not used to them. And back home in Ghana, I had not traveled outside Ghana before, it was just within Ghana. So I've not gone to any other country apart from Ghana. So the UK was my first time traveling outside Ghana. And there were so many things, some of the stories that we hear back, in Ghana. We hear lots of things, but you've just not, experienced them. And for some of them, it's a different thing. What you hear is basically either worse or not like that. It's not that bad like that. So, but then there were some things that actually, took me aback when I got to the UK. So the first is the weather. So you see, naturally, I don't like cold. Like, I don't like the cold weather. So even in Ghana, when it's becoming quite cold, I just don't like it. So I don't like the AC. I don't know. I don't like anything that would make me feel cold. So even when I'm driving, I would never put on my AC unless probably I have some makeup on and I'm going for a program, and then I need some, air conditioning just to maintain the face, so that I don't sweat. When I came to the UK, you see, you see that joke that we've been doing in Ghana, that this small weather, you are feeling too cold and you can't travel abroad. You see, put that thing aside. Put that thing aside. Because the cold here, I don't think you have ever or you can ever experience it back home in Ghana. Even if you put your AC to a 0 degrees, I don't think you would experience what we experience here. Like, it can get very cold. And the first experience was at the Heathrow. Now, the moment I got out of Heathrow, I don't know, I kept so long at Heathrow, I was nearly deported. But that experience will be for another day. I'll share it in a different video. But when I got out already, I was so down, I was so tired. When I got out of Heathrow, I thought somebody had intentionally put on some AC on me or something, because I felt so cold, so lonely, like I had missed my bus, and it was so dreadful that day. It was so cold. I just didn't know what to do. Even though I had, prepared myself for the cold, I didn't know it was like this. So, I had to quickly, when I got the bus and I got to this, I got to Norwich, I was like, nah, I had to stay in the room for almost the whole week because I didn't have the courage to go out. That was my first shock. Now, secondly, was the buses and their time. You see, I said that I missed my bus at Heathrow. One mistake I did was that when I booked my bus back home in Ghana, and I didn't give enough room, because I didn't know I'll keep that long at Heathrow. When I got to Heathrow, I had, some sort of issues. So I had to, spend some time there. So when I got out, my bus had, it was far gone. Now, this country, the buses work with time. And sometimes you have to give yourself maybe 5 minutes before or after. So if you say that, okay, the bus is supposed to come at, let's say, 12:30, and you get there 12:30, it's either the bus may have left like 2 minutes ago, or maybe the bus is here to come, because the buses here work with time. And it's not like Ghana where you see the trotro keeps going and another one keeps coming. When you miss one, you can even choose, this one, I don't like it. This trotro looks old. Or this driver is rude. The mates, I don't like the mates, so I'm not going to stay. I'm not going to use this bus. For this country, if you miss your bus, maybe the next one will come in about 20 minutes time or 30 minutes time, especially when it's a very long journey. So you can't afford to miss your bus. And everything here, they are told so time conscious. So if you plan your journey and you miss your bus, it means you are going to be late. So that is also one of my biggest shocks, because I'd say for the first month or two, I was still getting my head over these bus things because I was just missing buses anyhow. I was missing buses anyhow because I just couldn't know how I got there and the bus has already gone. Or sometimes I'm just a minute late and the bus, sometimes you get to the bus station, bus stop. The bus driver has closed the door, and even though he can see you behind the door, he won't open the door for you because he has stood there, he has opened the door. Probably those who were coming came, those who were leaving left. He has closed the door. If you come next, that is it. Regardless of how much you beg, I beg, he won't still open. He will just go. So this place, the buses and their time. So my next one is the jobs. The jobs. And how long it would take you for you to stand on your feet working. In Ghana, when you have a job, you go there, they get you a table and a chair, and then you sit down. Even if it's a sales attendant, you basically like sit through most of the time. This place, no. You are going to stand on your feet. If you are supposed to work 7 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, you are basically standing on your feet. Maybe you may have some intermittent breaks like 30 minutes or sometimes 15 minutes, 10 minutes, short breaks or something where you can just go and relax your legs and put your bottom, somewhere. Other than that, you will be standing on your feet upright for the whole of the work period. So most of the jobs that I do here, I basically think like it's only my student ambassador job that, requires me to sit most of the time. But my other jobs, I'm basically standing every time. Sometimes you close and you can feel the pains in your feet. So when people come here and they work and then they are complaining about this place, please believe them. It is not easy at all because you don't sit when you're working. No. Probably unless in corporate, even the corporate, I went to the bank, HSBC bank here in Norwich, and the tellers or something, like they were basically standing. They are not sitting. The only time they will sit with you is when you have an issue and then it would require some time, or they will need you to be filling some forms or something. That is where they'll give you a seat. And then they would also probably sit by you to explain things to you. Other than that, the moment you enter the bank, you see them standing. You see that it's only, there are some tellers, who are up there upstairs, especially those who are taking the cash and all that. But the customer service people, they are standing. They are not sitting. They are standing. When you come, they meet you at the door. Your problem, they speak to you. If we require them to give you a seat, that is when they'll give you a seat. So they are standing. How much more me doing a part-time job? You stand throughout. You stand throughout. Unless you are doing something different, like let's say healthcare or something. And even with that, there are some places that you get and then you still have to stand, maintain an upright position all the time. And to me, this is just no. Because probably in the long term, you may have some implications. I just don't know. But it just doesn't, sit well with me because at the end of the period, you'll be feeling pains in your feet, which is not, very pleasant at all. Now, my next shock was that when you buy an item, when you go to the supermarket to buy something, you pay for the plastic bag or the rubber. You pay for it. Huh? You pay for it. So I wish I could open my drawer for you. I have packed them. The bag I used to go to work or school, I have, bags, cloth bags. I have these cloth bags that I have packed them. Like every bag I use, I make sure that I have, some sort of either a cloth bag or a plastic bag in it. Because I cannot be buying every time. Like when I came here, because I was not used to it, I used to forget all the time. So when I'm going to buy something, basically sometimes I have to just get angry and hold the item in my hand like this and bring it home, especially if it's closer to me. other than that, you have to pay for a rubber bag or a plastic bag or something. So I got myself some cloth bags, and then I've kept, one in each of my bags that I use so that I don't forget. So when I go out and I'm buying something, I already have my bags in my bag, basically. So I don't buy, because this shock. Because in Ghana, this is free. And they are basically even begging you to take it. But I understand, because it is all part of the waste, the excessive waste. And most of the time, we can also reuse them, but we don't reuse them because it's for free. And that is what ends up, choking our gutters and, causing all form of waste and all that. So I think I understand it a bit, but then it was a shock for me because I was not used to it. And yes, another shock. This place, bus drivers act as conductors at the same time, or mates, as we call them in Ghana. And the job can be so tiring. When I got to Heathrow, I picked the National Coach Express to Norwich. The driver stepped down, opened the boot, and then was packing our bags. And you could see this driver was sweating because there were lots of people in there waiting for the bus. And when the bus came, the driver had to basically pack everybody's bag in there. So you scan your ticket with him, then he'll pack your bag. You scan your ticket with him, he's the only person doing all that. And after that, you could see that he was tired, sweaty. He had to come and sit in and still take us for the ride. So he drove us. At every point when he's picking somebody or someone is getting down, he has to also get down to come and pick the person's bag from the boot of the car, and then gives it back to the person. So he's basically acting like the driver and then the mate here. And for all the buses, it is the same. But then at least for the intra-city ones, it's quite easy because they have their POS system. So you just scan your card or you buy the bus tickets from them. They are just stationed around him. But those ones that are doing the long journey, where people may have, luggage and all that, so they would have to get down from the bus and arrange the luggage. Guys, that is so tiring. That is so I felt for the driver. But then it is what it is here in this country. Drivers are supposed to, multitask in that manner. But that is it. So these are some of my culture shocks. I know my next video is going to be about what happened at Heathrow. And trust me, you'll be shocked because I'm sure, it happens to a lot of people, but they can't say it. But for mine, I was fortunate that I came out of the situation. I don't know if it was my own carelessness or something, but I came out of my situation. So I'm going to share that in my next video. So watch out and have a nice day.